Hello, good afternoon. It is the 28th of March and I've been doing some knitting planning and thinking and brainstorming, and I thought, why am I not videoing this to turn into like a little video about how I have been thinking about this project that I'm looking at. If you can hear random snoring, it's Rory. He's asleep in the bush chair, which is unheard of, but I think he might be a bit under the weather. I'm going with it. Anyway, I have got my advent calendar from a homespun house from last year, and I want to do something with it because people are starting to talk about advents for next year, starting to put out their mood boards and things like that, and I'm getting excited about the advent calendars that I'm going to get. And it made me think maybe I need to use this advent calendar before any of the new advent calendars come into my life. And I actually have a plan for one of my advent calendars for like 2023, so that feels pretty good as well. But anyway, so I'm thinking about what I would like to make, and I have been looking at the Sea Glass Tea by Wool and Pine Designs. My arm is really tired, I'm not good at this holding the camera thing. Which is a colourwork t-shirt, but it's like for scrappy project, like for scrappy yarns, like that kind of thing. So it's like a 1x1 colourwork, so you knit one stitch in one colour, one stitch in another, and alternate all around. And so, you know, depending on how big your scraps are, you might only get sort of 10-15 stitches out of a colour before it's all used up, if you want it to go like super scrappy. But I am looking at using my minis. I have been like back and forth on it because what I don't want to end up with is like big chunks of colour. So like I know that Nitty Natty did one, and I think actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that the Crazy Sock Lady did one as well, although hers might have been the like pullover. But I think both of them used a background colour, so a colour that was just the same throughout, and then they brought in their scraps for so many rows, so they ended up with stripes. I don't want stripes in mine. I mean, they're going to stripe a little bit because unless I change colours like every 10 stitches, then, you know, I'm probably going to do like a round in a colour. But I think like little tiny stripes is going to be okay. But I'm really not very good at explaining this. I've been trying to explain it over on Instagram and it's just not going well. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to use like, you know, so originally my thought was that I would like pick 2 colours and I would alternate those, and I was like, well, if I just do that for the whole until both of these are gone, then I will have essentially like a stripe of these 2 colours, and then these will not feature again in the jumper. So then the next stripe would be like these 2 colours, and then it would be a stripe of, obviously I wouldn't do these 2 colours together, but then it'd be a stripe of these 2 colours, etc, etc, etc. And so there would be like noticeable stripes where colours have been combined for a long time, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I asked a few people on Instagram and they were saying that I would just have to alternate colours every round. Okay, a couple of people said like, oh, maybe like split into 10 grams and then just do like 10 grams and then 10 grams of another together, and then switch one of the 10 grams over so that it kind of wasn't the same. But I think I would still get stripes. They would just be thinner stripes. So now I am thinking alternate every round, but so that I don't have like tons of ends to deal with. And I know the pattern talks about different ways of managing ends, but however you look at it, I would still have ends to deal with, even if I can find a nice way of doing it. I'm not really worried about the finished object being reversible, because I know that's a feature of this, that you can reverse it. Not really interested in having that, so I'm not worried about the inside looking like super clean and tidy. So I'm probably going to do like a weave and Steven rather than the magic knot, because I don't want to buy fray check and I don't trust my magic knots to hold up in something like a sweater or a t-shirt. So current thought is I have got 2 skeins of this really nice sort of browns, golds, pinks, very autumnal. These are, I hand dyed these and I only have 2, so there is no more. But I have 2 of these, and then I have my advent calendar, and the colours in the advent calendar are very cozy. There are some like very bold pinks, you know, there's like a sort of light blue and things like that, but I think that in with the, I'm not going to get like the colour palette is not summer t-shirt colour palette, so it kind of doesn't matter if I add in very autumnal colours, because the colour palette is very autumnal, wintry, cozy time colour palette, whatever way you look at it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think I'm about to swatch, which I never do, but I thought I might as well for this. So I'm going to wind up one of these, and I'm going to wind up these 5 minis, because I think that of all of the minis from the advent calendar, these 5 are the ones that are more likely to sort of cause me issues, like blended in with the main skein, either because they are too solid or like and too bold of a colour to go with the main skein, you know, whether they would kind of pop out too much in comparison to other colours which might blend in a bit better. You know, that's going to sort of blend quite nicely, whereas something like this is really going to pop out. And so am I going to get these like really odd kind of almost heavy sections? So that's one thing I want to look at. But then I've got these 2 colours here, which my concern is they're going to get lost in the skein because they're quite close to parts of the skein, and I'm not gonna be like pulling out, I haven't got enough of this to sort of be like picky about which section of the skein I'm in, so I need to just check that they're not going to get totally lost, and then I'll have like a big section that just looks like a brown stripe. But I suppose if I'm alternating them every row, that's never going to happen anyway. Like worst case scenario, it would just look like 3 rows of like variegated brown, which could be, or 2 rows of variegated brown, which I don't know. So I'll probably do the swatch anyway. I should swatch, because particularly with it being like colour work, I want to know what my tension's like. So there we go. But that's my plan at the moment. So I've taken all of the minis out of their little bags. They all come in these lovely numbered bags, but I'm not going in the order that they came to me in, because like the first 2 colours I think, were these two, I think. Or there was definitely 2 of the 4 of these colours came like next to each other in the calendar, so I know that I want to spread the colours out, even though I'm going to be alternating every other row, because yeah, it wouldn't look like I had alternated if I did like those 2 next to each other. So yeah, so I'm gonna do a little swatch, figure out if I can be bothered to alternate every row, and just see how I feel, get a gist of the pattern and the alternating thing. I don't know what I'm going to do about ribbing, whether I do the rib in this or whether I find another colour to do my ribbing in. I've got like a grey. I could use this like a solid grey or something like that, or possibly even I've got enough here that I wouldn't need all of my minis, so I could possibly choose a mini. I don't know, I'll have to think about that later, but I'm going to do my swatch first and see how I get on. I'll check back in when I have more to say. Okay, so little updatey thing, because I'm so excited about this project. I have wound up my main skein. I love it so much. So that's the main colour, and then I have wound up 5 of the minis. Just look at them. So I'm not gonna be able to hold it all up. Yeah, now that I've like wound them up, these 2 that were worrying me before definitely worry me less. So that's good. So I think they are going to look fine. My idea is that I am going to use both of these like close to like collar, cuffs and like waistband. So I will use them early to kind of, I don't know, just get them out of the way and then use them later on, save them for then, just so that they don't give too much of like a heavy brown stripe. So yeah, so I think I'll probably use this one first and somewhere else in the body, and then maybe I use this one like near the cuffs or something like that. The yarn I'm thinking of for like ribbing and things like that is just this grey. So hard to hold. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I don't know about, I'm thinking like collar with that. I don't know if I would do like ribbing at the bottom in that colour. I don't know how much ribbing there is. If there's quite a lot of ribbing, then I don't think I would want to use the grey. I'm now wondering whether I just like use this for the ribbing in like the collar and the body. Because it's a t-shirt, right? So it's, and then I could even use this. I mean, I'm gonna try and lengthen the sleeves if I can. So my plan is knit the body, or knit the yoke, split for the sleeves, leave the sleeves on waste yarn, get the body to the length that I want it to, and then knit the sleeves as long as I can with the yarn I have left. And aiming for like maybe a 3/4 length sleeve. I would actually love it if I could get a full length sleeve, and I might be tempted to bring in yarn from elsewhere to do that, depending on how close I can get. But we'll see, because the t-shirt that I made with my advent from the year before last, the Lonely Knitter Very Nerdy Advent, that t-shirt I like didn't even touch 5 or maybe 6 minis, possibly even more. So I think there's a good chance that I'll be able to get decent length sleeves with these. We'll see. But yeah, plan now is to swatch with main colour and the minis. I'm gonna do like the barest minimum swatch, and I'm not gonna cut the yarns because I don't want to waste them, and I don't want to be having loads of extra ends to deal with. So that is my plan for right now. I would love it if I could cast this on this evening. That would be amazing. But yeah, I just need to look back at the pattern and see what the rib situation is like. I could always order one of these from a homespun house to do the ribbing, and that might actually be what I do. So get started with this, because I'm sure this would be enough for the collar, and then order a big skein to finish off, because if I do manage to get full length sleeves, then I'll want to have the cuffs matching. Okay, we have a plan. So I'm not going to swatch with this one in. That's going to stay there. I will swatch with these ones. And this. And I can put this away as well. Let's go. Okay, it is just a teeny tiny swatch, but I'm loving it. And given that I know that these colours are probably not going to be right next to each other, why
are you making my blue hat?
It's not a hat, no. Could do a hat then. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess with ends and stuff, but I'm really happy. I'm happy with the tension as well. So yeah, I just need to find this is a 3.75, I think. Just need to find the next size down so that I can do the collar, and I'll be casting it on today. Hello, I thought I would come in with a little update on my sea glass tea. I'm loving it. My hair, what is my hair doing? My goodness. I'm loving it so much. So excited. It was definitely the right choice to use this as like a main colour. Because I am getting like some nice effects. It is like, there is like a slight stripe to it because I'm like using one mini for one round and then swapping it out, but it's not like super stripy. love it. Look at that. Yep, this is Barley from a Homespun House. I had a mini in my advent calendar and I decided to put it as the collar. I ordered a 50-gram skein as well from them. I've still got quite a lot left of the mini, so I might not need it. It depends. Like I said earlier, if it's if I just get like a t-shirt out of it, then I'll want just a thin ribbing on the like edge of the sleeve. But if I'm able to get like a longer sleeve, then I will want a longer cuff, I think. I'm now actually really hoping that I can get like maybe an just above the elbow length sleeve. I think that would look really nice. And just thinking about, it feels like it's going to be like a heavier fabric than for like a summer tee. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I have done the Weaving Steven method. So I do have like, I'm not going to be able to wear it inside out, which is fine. It's probably not something I would have done anyway, but like for future reference, and just if you make one yourself, the inside does look pretty cool. So maybe I'll make another one at some point in the future, and with scraps, and I'll do the magic knot method, and then I can wear it inside out as well. But for this one, yeah, I'm happy not being able to wear it inside out. Weaving Steven is working fine for me. Like, I'm doing like what, maybe 20 stitches in of like weaving them in, and then and that's it. So, you know, the first little bit of the round takes a little bit longer because I'm just trying to wrap the yarn round, but you can't tell on the outside what's going on. Like, it's a slightly thicker fabric, but it's going to be on the back, so I don't think that's going to matter. Yeah, and once my rounds are getting longer, I really don't think that I feel like I'm at that much of a disadvantage from having done that. So yeah, I am loving it. I feel like I'm getting I've got all my minis here. I feel like I'm getting quite a good mix of minis. So I will be storing the minis in this bag, the ones that I need to use, and probably the project until I get a project bag for it. Because I don't have one at the moment that's empty, so I might order one for this. We'll see. But yeah, so they're going to stay in here when I'm not working on it. But when I have used the mini for a round, I am putting it into this bag. And then when I have used all of the minis, I will dump them all back out again like I have done here. And I will just start to take them again, trying not to get them in exactly the same order, but also hopefully keeping some of the like randomness. I'm hoping that there's like enough pinks, enough greens that it's not going to look like I've used the same colours over and over again. Like, what do I mean? Because there's already quite a lot of pink and quite a lot of green in there. I don't think you'll be able to tell if I use like the pinks are different enough when you're knitting them in that I don't think it's going to look like I'm just using the same ones over and over again. I'm trying to kind of break them up a little bit, keep some of the lighter colours and darker colours like spread out, But yeah, I mean, I think that the colours are just really working so well together that yeah, it's all going very well, dare I say. Yeah, like, I mean, I used like a pink very first, like a really, really bold dark pink first, and then I used like a really sort of, I think it's called oatmeal, and it's a sort of oatmeal-y brown, and then I used another pink, like a lighter pink, and then I used green, and I feel like, you know, just with the variations in this yarn, with some of the variations in some of the mini skeins, they're just like working together, coming together really nicely. So yeah, I feel like I'm really glad that I took some time to think about it before I just got straight in, because yeah, my initial thought was to just do 2 minis as A and B, but having the chance to think about it, chatting to some people on Instagram. Thank you very much if you chatted to me about it on Instagram, because it all really helped, and I think that it's gonna be really awesome. It's gonna be really awesome. So yeah, the only thing, and I think it's a Weave and Steven plus like new yarn every round thing, and that is that I'm getting like a gap. Can you see? I'm getting like a hole. It's not too easy to see that. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm getting like this ladder, like at the beginning of the round, and yeah, there's not a lot I can do about it, I don't think. I might go in and just like tug some of those ends through a bit more, but I don't know if that'll help. But what I might do when it's finished is just where that's happening, just go in and like with a bit of waste yarn or something and just pull those sides a little bit closer. But it might block out, I don't know. I think it's because the end is getting like tugged in with the Weave and Steven method. So it's like opening those stitches. So I'm trying to be like gentle and not tug them in really far, but yeah, it's not working hugely well. So there are fixes for that later. I can probably just, yeah, go in and kind of sew them up a little bit. I think it'll be okay. And like I say, that'll be on the back, and then probably, I imagine, it'll be under the arms and down the side when I've split for the sleeves. So again, easy to just go in and hide the gap. But yeah, so happy with how this has turned out. Yes, gorgeous, so gorgeous. So I just finished with this pink. So now I'm just thinking about which colour I want to go in next. What was the colour I did before that? A green. So maybe not a green. Maybe I'll go in with like, I really like these dark purples. Got a couple of those, which will look really nice next. Or maybe this kind of stormy blue purple. So it's going to be one of these, I think. I think it's always tricky because then I look at what's left and I start to think, oh, am I going to be then getting a lot of very similar colours? Would it be better to go for a, I don't know. I think once they're in there, they'll look very different. So But yeah, that's it. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Just because at this point I feel like all decisions have been made, and from this point on I will update you in my podcast. But I just thought it would be quite fun to do a kind of vloggy video where you kind of join me for some of my planning of a project. So what do you think? Did you like this? If I do something like this project again, would you like to see it again? I kind of wish I had had the idea to do the video like right at the beginning, but I'd had like probably a couple of hours of like, well, probably like a day of like thinking and planning before I started recording, and so then I had to kind of catch you up. So maybe next time I'll try and get the camera out at the very beginning. So yeah, right. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.